Have you ever felt that, no matter how hard you try, love seems like a maze where every turn leads to new heartache, a tireless repetition of mistakes you swore you'd never make again? What if the decisions that appear most logical, most right, in your own eyes, are actually the most subtle traps, steering you away from what is truly yours, from what is divinely intended? There is a quiet voice, a whisper hidden in the crevices of your soul, trying to alert you to something you insist on not seeing, a path that, though paved with good intentions, might be leading you into an abyss of disillusionment. Picture this: every relationship is a mirror, and it doesn't always reflect the truth you want to see. There are shadows, distortions, nearly imperceptible signs that the universe, and something much greater, is trying to show you. But perhaps you, immersed in the narrative you've created for yourself, are ignoring the warnings, the small cracks in a foundation that promise to be unshakable. What if I told you that the most dangerous blindness isn't the one that prevents your eyes from seeing, but the one that stops your heart from feeling the raw, honest truth? Prepare for a journey that goes beyond what you know about love, about yourself, and about the forces that shape your destiny. This is not just a video. It's an invitation to pull back the veils that cover the decisions you've unknowingly been making against yourself. It's time to question every certainty, confront every doubt, and allow a profound, almost forgotten, revelation to surface. Are you ready to see the signs that life, and the very hand of God, have been placing right in front of you? If you feel this call resonating in your soul, that there's a truth waiting to be unearthed, then this is the moment to connect. Leave a like so this message can reach more hearts. Share it with someone who needs this awakening. And of course, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the revelations that could forever transform the way you love and live. The truth is waiting for you. Have you ever found yourself in a cycle, a strange dance where the steps feel familiar, but the melody never changes, and the ending is always the same dissonant note? It's as if a dense fog hangs over your most intimate choices, obscuring the signs that, in hindsight, were as clear as the noonday sun. There is an unsettling truth, whispered by time and scars. Often, the worst decisions in love don't arrive like a lightning bolt, but as a gentle breeze that lulls us away from who we truly are, and we don't even realize we're losing our footing. The human heart, in its complexity, can be fertile ground for illusions, a mirror reflecting not what is, but what we wish were true. An ancient wisdom reminds us to, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. This reminds us that the greatest battle may not be with the other person, but with what we refuse to see in ourselves. It is in this space of denial that the roots of a wrong decision deepen, nourished by unspoken fears and by needs that cry out in silence. Think of the small compromises, the concessions that become chasms, the yes that should have been a no. It's the feeling of your own light diminishing with each day spent beside someone, like a candle burning too quickly in a relentless wind. It's the inner voice that grows quiet, the laughter that fades, the joy that seems like a distant echo of a past that no longer belongs to you. These are not mere coincidences. They are the first whispers of a warning, the dissonant melody of something not in harmony with your higher purpose. And what if these signs, these feelings of emptiness and disconnection, were more than just intuitions? What if they were coded messages, sent from a higher source, a divine revelation trying to break through the barrier of your own stubbornness, your voluntary blindness? There is an invisible weight that settles in, a soul that isn't solved by rest, but by the courage to look at what is truly happening behind the facade of a love that imprisons more than it liberates. How many times have you felt a tightness in your chest, an unexplainable restlessness, a premonition that something fundamental is being sacrificed on the altar of a relationship that doesn't nourish you? That is your soul trying to communicate, the universe conspiring to show you that the path you're on may not be your own. What would you do if you knew that this discomfort is, in fact, a map to your true freedom, an invitation to awaken to a truth that could change everything? Have you ever wondered if your own search for safety, for a safe harbor, might be blinding you to the real dangers hidden in the calm waters of a relationship? It's as if the fear of being alone is a veil, covering the eyes of your soul and preventing it from discerning the voice that cries out for freedom. There's a deafening silence that accompanies certain choices, a hollow space that settles in behind the forced smiles, and it is in this vacuum that the soul begins to wither, losing its essence, its own song. The signs, often, are not shouts, but whispers, It's the feeling that you must constantly justify your existence, your choices, your feelings. It's the loss of your voice, the abdication of your dreams, in the name of an illusory peace. Think of the wisdom that says, "Unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain." This isn't just about the external structure, but about the internal foundations that crumble when the basis of love isn't truth, but convenience or fear. A weight settles in, a fatigue that is not of the body, but of the spirit. You feel drained, as if you are constantly rowing against the current, or like a plant that isn't getting the light it needs to flourish. This emotional exhaustion, this sense of always being on edge, of walking on shattered glass, so as not to disturb the peace, is one of the clearest indicators that something fundamental is out of balance. It's your body, mind, and soul crying out for an alignment that has been lost. What if the absence of genuine peace, the constant restlessness, the feeling that you are always shrinking yourself to fit into someone else's world, were the most urgent signs that the direction you've taken is not your own? It's as if life itself is nudging you, reminding you that you deserve a love that lifts you up, that makes you overflow, not one that empties you out. This silent anguish, this lump in your throat that insists on tightening, is your intuition, your spirit, the very revelation of God, trying to guide you out of the darkness. What would you do if you knew that these discomforts, these veiled pains, are actually an invitation for a profound reevaluation, a call to awaken to the truth that sets you free? Are you ready to uncover what lies behind these veils, to face the signs that life and the very hand of God have been placing before you, revealing the path you must follow to find true fulfillment in love? Have you ever reached a point where your intuition is screaming, yet reason, or perhaps fear, insists on silencing it? It's as if an invisible battle is being fought within you, between what your heart knows and what your mind tries to justify. There are moments when the wrong decision isn't an impulsive act, but a slow, painful surrender to a path that, deep down, you know doesn't belong to you. It's the weight of doubt, the feeling that something essential is being compromised, even if you can't name what it is. Think of those relationships where joy seems to be a rare guest, and lightness, a mirage, where communication becomes a minefield, and silence, a dangerous shelter. As one ancient proverb asks, "Do to walk together unless they have agreed to do so." This applies powerfully to love, when the shared vision becomes blurred, when purposes diverge, and the essence of who you are begins to fade to fit another's mold. These are the signs that the foundation may be compromised. It's not just about disagreements, but about the loss of your own light. Observe the patterns, the repetitions, that feeling that you've lived this scene before, but with different actors. It's the pain that refuses to leave, the wound that won't heal, because the root of the problem has not been pulled. What manifests externally is often a reflection of what is disordered internally. Divine revelation, at times, doesn't come in thunder, but in the persistence of discomfort, in the repetition of a cycle that forces you to look at the truth you have been avoiding. What if your soul was trying to show you something through these encounters and separations, through these pains that repeat themselves? It's as if the universe, in its infinite wisdom, is using each experience to guide you back to your path, to your purpose. The fear of loss, the longing to belong, or the simple inertia of not wanting to change can be the invisible chains that bind you to a decision that no longer serves your growth, your evolution. What would you do if you knew that every sign of discomfort, every silent tear, every moment of despair, is an invitation for a profound reflection, an opportunity to align with the greater will for your love life? Are you ready to decipher these enigmas, to hear the voice that calls you to freedom, to the truth that can transform your journey and guide you to the love you truly deserve? Have you ever found yourself in a kind of trance, where the routine and comfort of a relationship, even an unsatisfying one, become a gilded cage from which it's hard to escape? It's as if the soul, tired of fighting, accepts a lesser version of itself, a love that doesn't nourish but merely fills a temporary void. There is a subtle trap in conformity, in accepting less than you deserve. And it's in this complacent silence that the true warning signs become almost inaudible, camouflaged by familiarity. Think of the sensation that your very essence is being diluted, like ink in water, losing its color, its intensity. It's the voice that falls silent, the dreams that are put away in a drawer, the energy that drains away without explanation. A powerful truth echoes through time, cautioning, what fellowship can light have with darkness? This reminds us that stagnation in love can be one of the greatest deviations from the divine purpose for your life. What have you been sacrificing in the name of a peace that isn't peace, but merely the absence of conflict? The signs, at times, are in the absence of real laughter, of deep conversations, of a sparkle in the eyes that was once constant. It's the feeling of always walking on eggshells, of calibrating every word, every gesture, so as not to disturb a false harmony. This constant vigilance, this loss of spontaneity, is an invisible weight that accumulates, draining the vitality and joy from life. It is your spirit crying out for air, for space, for the freedom to be who you truly are. And what if this soul exhaustion, this feeling of always being indebted to yourself, was a clear message, a direct revelation that the path chosen is not yours? It's as if the universe, in its infinite wisdom, is using discomfort to push you toward the truth, to show you that a greater, fuller love awaits you, but it requires the courage to let go of what holds you back. This deep unrest is not a punishment. It is a call, a divine whisper to awaken. What would you do if you knew that these discomforts, these silent pains, are in fact a map, a guide to your true happiness, to a love that elevates you and makes you flourish? Are you ready to decipher the secrets your own soul has been trying to tell you, to see the signs that life and the very hand of God have been placing before you, revealing the path to your fulfillment in love? Have you ever looked into the mirror of your relationship and, instead of seeing your own light, realized the reflection was a distant echo of who you are, or worse, a shadow of who you once were? There comes a moment when love, which should be a gateway to fulfillment, becomes a veil that obscures your vision, a fog that prevents you from seeing the clear signs that you are getting lost in a maze of wrong choices. It's the feeling that every step, though it seems to be toward the other person, is actually taking you further from yourself. There is profound guidance that tells us, if any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. But how can we find wisdom when emotion clouds our judgment and the desire to belong overpowers the truth? The signs are not always obvious. Often they are the absence of something vital, the absence of genuine peace, of mutual growth, of a joy that overflows and doesn't just fill a void. It is your soul whispering that something is not aligned, that the melody that should be harmonious has become a song of discord. Think of those moments when, after being with your partner, you feel more drained than refreshed, more confused than clear, as if a part of your life force has been siphoned away, or when the need for the other's approval becomes so great that you begin to mold your own essence to fit into a space that is not yours. It's the constant feeling of walking on tiptoes, of silencing your own voice to avoid conflict, of accepting less than what your heart yearns for. These are the echoes of a decision that, though disguised as love, may be trapping you. And what if this discomfort, this persistent feeling that something is out of place, were divine revelation itself, an urgent call for you to reevaluate your path? It's as if the universe is using every unease, every silent tear, to guide you back to the truth, to remind you that true love liberates, elevates, and expands. It does not diminish or imprison. The exhortation is clear. Seek the wisdom that comes from above, the one that illuminates the dark corners of the soul and reveals what needs to be seen. What would you do if you knew that your own restlessness is an invitation to a journey of self-discovery, a map to unlock the secrets your soul has been trying to tell you? Are you ready to look within, to listen to the voice that calls you to freedom, to the truth that can transform your journey and guide you to the love you truly deserve, one that aligns with your highest purpose? Have you ever wondered if the greatest obstacle to your happiness in love isn't the other person, but your own resistance to seeing the truth, to accepting that the illusion you've built must crumble so that something real can be born? It's as if a part of you is trapped in a cycle of self-sabotage, repeating patterns, ignoring the signs that life and the divine voice itself insist on whispering. There is a turning point, a moment when willful blindness becomes more painful than the revelation itself. Consider the ancient wisdom, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord." How often do we cling to what we know, even if it hurts us, for fear of the unknown, for fear of deconstructing what seemed safe? The signs that you are making the wrong choice in love are often the loss of your inner peace, the feeling that you are constantly fighting against an invisible current, or that your faith, once unshakable, begins to falter in the face of the relationships, trials. It's the pain that refuses to leave, the wound that won't heal, because the root of the problem hasn't been pulled. It's the silence that settles between you, not a silence of peace, but of things left unsaid, of accumulated resentments, of abandoned dreams, or the need to diminish yourself, to dim your own light so that the other can shine, like a star that fades so the moon can seem brighter. These are not mere misalignments, they are the cracks in the foundation, the cries of your soul calling for rescue. And what if these discomforts, this persistent feeling that something is out of place, were divine revelation manifesting, an urgent call for you to turn inward, to seek the wisdom that transcends human understanding? It is through sincere prayer, deep meditation, and honest reflection that the fog lifts and the signs become clear. It is in this space of connection with the divine that truth is revealed, showing the path to healing and to the love that truly builds you up. What would you do if you knew that every sign of discomfort, every silent tear, every moment of despair is an invitation for a profound transformation, an opportunity to align with the greater will for your love life? Are you ready to decipher these enigmas, to listen to the voice that calls you to freedom, to the truth that can transform your journey and guide you to the love you truly deserve, the one that aligns with your highest purpose and with God's revelation for you? And now, as the words quiet down, feel the echo that remains. This is not an end, but an awakening. The truths you've felt, the pains you've recognized, and the revelations that have stirred in your soul are not mere information. They are seeds, planted in the fertile ground of your heart. Remember, true love does not imprison, it liberates. It does not diminish, it expands. And the divine voice, this ancient wisdom that pulses in each of us, is always whispering the signs, guiding our steps, even when the fog of illusion tries to blind us. You have been invited to look within, to confront the shadows, and to embrace the light that resides in your own essence. The journey of love is, above all, a journey of self-knowledge, where every choice is a mirror, every challenge an opportunity to align with the greater purpose God has for your life. Allow the stillness of this moment to become a catalyst for change, for the courage to untie the knots that bind you and to seek the fullness that is yours by right. May the truth you felt here not be just a memory, but a driving force. May the discomforts transform into compasses and the signs into maps for a path of genuine, transformative love. The universe is conspiring in your favor, and divine revelation is always accessible to those who dare to listen with their hearts and act with faith. Your love story deserves a different ending, a new beginning that resonates with your soul. If this journey has touched your soul and awakened in you the courage to rewrite your story, leave a like so this message can echo in more hearts thirsting for truth. Share this video with someone you know needs to hear these words, and subscribe to the channel to continue this journey of discovery and revelation, for there is so much more to be unveiled about the love that awaits you.